Hey guys, this is Amit and you're watching Tech Dad. In this video, we are going to compare between Poco X3 Pro versus Redmi Note 10 Pro Max. And we will discuss which one is better in camera, performance, display, body of the devices, features, communication chips and about the prices. And in the end of the video, I will tell you which one is better according to me. So watch this video till the end. So without wasting any time, let's start the video. Let the comparison start with the camera of the devices. Talking about the rear camera of the devices, X3 Pro have quad camera setup, 48 megapixel of wide camera, 8 megapixel of ultra wide camera, 2 megapixel of macro camera and 2 megapixel of depth sensor. And 10 Pro Max also comes with quad camera setup, 108 megapixel of wide camera, 8 megapixel of ultra wide camera, 5 megapixel of macro camera and 2 megapixel of depth sensor. So the winner here is 10 Pro Max because it have better camera sensor which can take great photos. And about the front camera of the devices, X3 Pro have 20 megapixel of wide camera and 10 Pro Max have 16 megapixel of wide camera. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it have 20 megapixel of wide camera. Let's talk about the camera features of the devices. X3 Pro have dual LED flash, HDR and panorama, whereas 10 Pro Max have LED flash, HDR and panorama. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it have dual LED flash. And about the video recording options in the devices, X3 Pro can shoot 4K video max at 30 fps, Full HD video max at 240 fps with gyro electronic stabilization. In the other hand, 10 Pro Max can shoot 4K video max at 30 fps, Full HD video max at 120 fps with gyro electronic stabilization. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it have better camera sensors. Moving to the performance of the devices, let's start with the operating system of the devices. X3 Pro have Android 11 support. In the other side, 10 Pro Max also have Android 11 support. So clearly it's a tie here. And about the user interface of the devices, X3 Pro have MIUI specially designed for Poco and 10 Pro Max comes with MIUI. So it's a tie here because both of the devices have slightly different UI. So I will call it a tie. Let's talk about the processor of the devices. X3 Pro have MIUI. X3 Pro is powered by Snapdragon 860 based on 7nm processor and 10 Pro Max is also powered by Snapdragon 732G based on 8nm processor. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it have more faster processing speed as compared to 10 Pro Max. And about the GPU of the devices, X3 Pro is packed with Adreno 640 whereas 10 Pro Max is packed with Adreno 618. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it can give you more FPS in games. Let's talk about the clock speed of the devices. X3 Pro can clock at 2.96 GHz based on octa-core Creo chipset and 10 Pro Max can clock at 2.3 GHz based on octa-core Cortex chipset. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it have faster clock speed. And about the RAM variants in the devices, X3 Pro comes with 2 RAM variants, 6 and 8 GB of RAM variants, whereas 10 Pro Max also have 6 and 8 GB of RAM variants. So clearly the winner here is X3 Pro because it have high speed of RAM. Let's talk about the internal storage of the devices. X3 Pro comes with two options, 128 and 256 GB of storage, and 10 Pro Max also have two storage options, 64 and 128 GB of storage option. So clearly the winner here is X3 Pro because it have faster read and write speed. And about the external storage of the devices, X3 Pro have external card slot but it uses shared SIM slot, whereas 10 Pro Max have dedicated card slot option. So the winner here is 10 Pro Max. Moving to the display features of the devices. Let's start with the display size of the devices. X3 Pro have 6.67 inches of display, whereas 10 Pro Max have 6.67 inches of display. So it's a tie here because both of the devices have the same display size. And about the screen to body ratio of the devices, X3 Pro have approximately 84.6% of ratio, whereas 10 Pro Max have 85.7%. So it's a tie here because both of the devices have approximately the same ratio. Let's talk about the screen resolution of the devices. X3 Pro comes with Full HD Plus display, whereas 10 Pro Max also have Full HD Plus display too. So it's a tie here. And about the display type of the devices, X3 Pro have IPS LCD display having 120Hz of refresh rate with HDR10 support. In the other side, 10 Pro Max have Super AMOLED display having 120Hz of refresh rate with HDR10 support. So the winner here is 10 Pro Max because it have Super AMOLED display which can produce sharper vivid color and deeper blacks, which is great for watching content and playing games. Moving to the body of the devices, let's start with the thickness of the devices. X3 Pro have 9.4 mm of thickness whereas 10 Pro Max have 8.1 mm of thickness. So clear winner here is 10 Pro Max because of slimmer body design it have. Talking about the weight of the devices, X3 Pro comes with 215 grams of weight, whereas 10 Pro Max have 192 grams of weight. So the winner here is 10 Pro Max because it have lower body weight. And about the protective glass of the devices, X3 Pro have Gorilla Glass 6, whereas 10 Pro Max also have Gorilla Glass 5. So the winner here is X3 Pro because it have newer generation of glass which is more durable than its older generation. Let's talk about the build quality of the devices. X3 Pro have glass back with plastic frame, whereas 10 Pro Max have glass back with plastic frame. So it's a tie here because both of the devices have same build quality. And about the SIM options in the devices, both of the devices have dual nano SIM support, so it's a tie here. Moving to some of the most important features of the devices, let's start with the fingerprint scanner of the devices. X3 Pro have side mounted fingerprint scanner, in the other side 10 Pro Max have side mounted fingerprint scanner too. So I will call it a tie here because both of the devices have the same sensors. So I will call it a tie here. And about the sensors in the devices, X3 Pro have accelerometer, gyroscope, proximity and compass, whereas 10 Pro Max also have accelerometer, gyroscope, proximity and compass. So again it's a tie. Let's talk about the battery capacity of the devices. X3 have 5160 mAh of battery, whereas 10 Pro Max have 5020 mAh of battery. So clearly it's a tie here because both of the devices have approximately the same battery capacity. Let's talk about the charging speed of the devices. X3 Pro have 33 watts of fast charging. In the other side 10 Pro Max also have 33 watts of fast charging. So clearly the winner here is 10 Pro Max because it can charge up your device faster. Let's talk about the loudspeaker of the devices. X3 Pro comes with stereo speakers, whereas 10 Pro Max also have stereo speakers. So it's a tie here because both of the devices can produce immersive sound. And about the headphone jack of the devices, X3 Pro have 3.5mm of headphone jack, whereas 10 Pro Max also have 3.5mm of headphone jack. So clearly it's a tie. Moving to the communication chips in the devices, starting with the W line of the devices. Both of the devices comes with Wi-Fi AC, dual band Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi direct and hotspot. So it's a tie. And about the Bluetooth version of the devices, X3 Pro have 5th generation of Bluetooth. In the other side, 10 Pro Max have 5.1 generation of Bluetooth. So the winner here is 10 Pro Max because it have newer generation of Bluetooth. Let's talk about the positioning chips in the devices. X3 Pro have AGPS, GLONASS, Galileo and BDS, whereas 10 Pro Max have AGPS, GLONASS and BDS. So clearly the winner here is X3 Pro because it have Galileo sensor. And about the USB connectivity of the devices, X3 Pro have 2nd gen of Type-C connector and 10 Pro Max also have 2nd gen of Type-C connector. So clearly it's a tie. Moving to the price of the devices. In the international market, starting range of X3 Pro is around $220 and 10 Pro Max is available from $280. In the Indian market, X3 Pro have starting range. In the Indian market, the starting range will be around 17,500 rupees and 10 Pro Max is available from 20,000 rupees. So the conclusion of the video is, in the camera, the winner is 10 Pro Max. In the performance, the winner is X3 Pro. In the display, the winner is 10 Pro Max. In the body segment, it's a tie. In the features of the devices, it's a tie. In the communication chips, it's a tie. And about the prices, the winner is X3 Pro. So guys, the decision is totally yours. Which device you like the most so far, and let me know in the comment below what you think, which device is better for you. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you like our content, please like our video, share this video and subscribe to our channel. Comment what you thought in the comment below. If you're watching this video on Facebook, please like our page TechDad. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, here's my Instagram ID on the screen. This is Amit and I will see you guys in the next one. Till then, bye.